And pretty much, I believe both of the players are just random drawn Fun Day Monday topics, and then given, you know, the other person doesn't know
Oh,
what they're doing.
so this
It's kind
is
of
out of a
it,
hat thing then.
yeah. Essentially, this is kind of the same as what we did that one weekend.
Okay.
I think they called out some of the worst topics. When I say worse, I mean there are some topics in here that literally do not work if you're trying to be competitive. Anyway, why don't you go ahead and introduce
All
each player?
right. Starting off here in the bottom right of Nimbus Ladder Edition. It is our red Terran player. We have Axia's MarTi. Nice logo. I like it.
In the top right of the map, we have from no particular clan at all, we've got our green Terran player, Baldur. We don't know where Bon Bon is, CRQ. We hope he'll show up eventually. But we waited for him. We don't want to keep you guys waiting too long, so we're going to make sure we get at least the first game going.
Oh
So
no.
there's a lot of topics that you could potentially see here.
Building a
One of them.
supply depot.
Oh no!
Oh
It's
no.
such an original strategy.
Oh man.
Supply depot first
I've
building. No,
never seen this before this early in the game.
zoom in. No, okay. But in all seriousness, there's actually quite a few different strategies that you can see. I think Terran actually has the most Fun Day Monday topics. I'm pretty sure, just because of the ridiculous things you can do with them lifting off buildings and planetary fortresses in particular. But
Got a very versatile, uh, versatile arsenal actually, given the human nature.
but yeah, pretty much. Here's the thing. All right. Kind of in a way that I've set this up because I've gone and I've watched through the games and I thought, okay, what order are we going to do this in? This is especially relevant if one of them is an hour long. So basically, the way this is structured for the most part is similar to the typical Fun Day Monday, actually. This first game is a great example of what I imagine this tournament was kind of envisioned to be. You have two players go toward their topics, and shit happens, and one of them wins. I don't want to spoil it any further than that. Now, this is a very strange moment for me. We can see that MarTi sent out a scout. He's gone to the other side of the map. He's discovered that the enemy is not there, but he did not, click into the other bases. So the scout's just going to kind of hang out here and have a nice coffee break. Meanwhile, back home in Baldur's base, we can see that things are progressing quite well. He's already building a factory, so he's got something up his sleeve. He's not going for a fast expand, so we know that he's got one of the Fun Day Monday topics that if he's a little bit less economically aggressive, so to speak. Meanwhile, you can see that MarTi's actually doing the exact same thing, also grabbing a factory. So we just got to bide our time and wait and see.
Yeah. So I mean, they are taking up the factory, so I'm not. I'm not entirely sure about what all the Funday Monday topics are. So it'll be a fun guessing game. That's.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with just going to factory tech. You could be sprinting up to grab starports to go mass Raven. You could go mass any other unit that flies. Vikings, not a common thing unless you play in the novice ladder.
Right.
But you could be going up to battle cruisers. You could be just building factory units. We'll have to wait and see. There's some unbelievable weaknesses with a couple of them, though. Like if you get mass widow mines, you can never kill your opponent's buildings.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to win. It's more like a explode him into submission type thing.
Yes, and thankfully, if your opponent is there in the interest of having fun, he won't simply lift off his last command center and then land it next to your widow mines, lift it and land it just to taunt you
So
at
bad.
the end of the game. But in theory, such a match would always end in a draw. But thankfully, people are awesome. They tend to not do that as much. So this widow mine runs to the front of the base, discovers that there are things that shoot at it, and just starts. He's just gonna park right down here. Maybe we'll pick off an SCV that wanders out. This SCV from MarTi has decided to scout the other corner of the map. Is still not gone to the one that actually contains his opponent yet, so he still doesn't know where Baldur is. But he has seen widow. He has seen widow mines, which has got to be making him a little nervous. Because you see one widow mine, this is a Fun Day Monday game. That might not be the last widow mine you see.
Yeah, there are already two more out on the map.
Meanwhile,
Moving in.
MarTi's he's going to have an engineering bay in a sec. He's already got a starport with a tech lab on it. Now, one thing, this is always kind of a dead giveaway for me whenever I'm watching these. And by the way, Bammo, another starport. If the first thing the person is building is a tech lab, usually in a StarCraft game, you look at that and go, probably Banshees, right? Yeah, but he's not building anything out of it. It's probably not. What are you expecting to see?
Oh, from MarTi? Tech Lab, Ravens, Mass Raven.
Mass Raven?
I
So
want
you're
to see Mass Raven.
putting your money on Mass Raven. What about Baldur? I think it's pretty obvious what Baldur's doing by now.
I think Baldur's gonna be massing Widow Mines this game.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think so. Just a guess, but whether or not it's a very educated one, that's for you to decide.
Yes, I think that's a pretty reasonable one. We've already got literally 5 Widow Mines in the maps, no Marines at all from Baldur. So I think he's kind of realizing, all right, okay, we know what he's doing. He's putting out Widow Mines. And what are the big things that he's got to worry about? Primarily siege tanks, actually. If his opponent were to build siege tanks, if this were a normal game, and his opponent realized that, oh, this guy's massing Widow Mines, siege tanks with adequate detection, probably in the form of ravens, will pretty much shut this down. There's nothing to do with that. Or building a planetary fortress at the front of your base will also shut this down because they can't kill it. It's one of those moments where you, as the Widow Mine player, are like, I need drops. But the whole notion behind the Widow Mine Fun Day Monday is that you kind of humiliate your opponent into leaving. You kill so much of his stuff that he's like, flip the table and leaves.
Yes. Yeah, he flips the table, flips his computer. Monitor goes flying. As if a Widow Mine had hit him in real life.
And now we can see that MarTi's plan has now been revealed. 1 battlecruiser on the way.
So instead of Ravens, we're moving straight up to Tier 3.
Yep. Now, this particular Fun Day Monday topic is excruciating, because it's get a battlecruiser before you expand. Now, if you follow into the spirit of this, it means rush for a battlecruiser before you expand. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Getting a battlecruiser before you expand can also simply just mean do a 1-base attack and then build a battlecruiser and then expand. But he's taken the exact spirit of the term. He's going straight for the battlecruiser. He's building it. Now he's getting his expansion. But unfortunately, a beautiful contain, is being built around his base.
A whole minefield here waiting for him. The battlecruiser goes out without without taking a look first. I think we're in pretty big trouble. The battlecruiser's gonna pop, and high-sec auto tracking out for the missile turrets, and the burrow speed for the Widow Mines too. So it's gonna make this all the more difficult for our battlecruiser player.
Yep, this gets worse and worse. And I gotta tell you, that speed burrow from the Widow Mines is critical.
Oh, it's rough.
This actually obliterates Mass BC, if you can believe that. If they get him out in the middle of the map, you can just run forward burrow, and everything explodes.
Yes.
Even if he doesn't lose all the battle cruisers immediately, the damage they inflict is so much greater than the damage they take in return. It's so crazy.
Yeah, so bad. Yeah,
but I like this. I like that Marty's sticking with this idea, though. He's grabbed the first battlecruiser, and now he's going to keep grabbing battlecruisers. He's not giving up on this. He wants his battlecruisers. That's why he's here.
Is this battlecruiser at the front of the base?
Yep.
Oh, he scans first. Yes.
Now, here's the problem with battlecruisers. Apparently, they don't outrange mines.
Oh.
Apparently, the space capital ship does not outrange the mine buried in the ground. Throwing my hands up in the air and being like, multiplayer game.
But why?
It's a game, that's why. Just ignore it.
No, Marines, what are you doing?
But yeah, as you can imagine here, this is the kind of thing you can expect to see in a tournament like this. Is, you get 2 different topics, they come at each other with the exact nature of the topic, and unfortunately sometimes it gives a great advantage to one side.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Baldur taking 2 more bases, knowing that he's got MarTi and got an asteroid belt of Widow Mines here. Yeah, it's
essentially, yes.
Full asteroid belt.
The real problem with MarTi's base right now, though, is actually this supply depot. Because, again, Widow Mines cannot break buildings. They can literally not target them at all. I don't even think their splash damage actually affects buildings. Cool. So, what is the one thing that could happen in this situation which could actually get him killed? Think about it.
If the supply depot is down?
Yep, all the Widow Mines get up, and they run into the base.
He will lose every worker?
Now, here's the crazy thing, right? What if that supply depot stays up? Then he can sit here and build 25 battlecruisers, float across the map, and kill everything.
He can.
There's literally nothing he can do to stop
him. Oh, man. We've got a few command centers coming up in the front. I have a strange feeling these are either
Ooh.
going to be...
I like this idea, though. I like the Raven coming out from MarTi here. He's like, okay, I need some detection, so he throws out free units. Free units are extremely good against units that are not free in general. Ooh, as you can see, the fast burrow, being ridiculously painful, has driven the battlecruisers out of the base. Up come the Widow Mines in order to try and do something about the battlecruisers,
Oh my
but
God,
the battlecruisers are utilizing the power of space to simply float away. One takes a hit. But again, that tiny little rocket flying out from the ground flies up into the atmosphere and threw that into space and probably killed about a couple hundred people on that ship, which then floated over a missile turret and looks like no repair!
Wow.
Oh, it's
No
too
repair.
late.
That battlecruiser survives with 30 HP and begins to work away at the orbital command while 4 turrets come down. Come to the capital ships. And work on these SCVs, and then...
Meanwhile, Baldur is starting to feel increasingly, I imagine, desperate as he's attempting to build any defense at all back home. He finally does get a turret up. Moves off one of the battle cruisers. Ooh, no fusion dance yet, so no ability to just blow up turrets. But the supply depot is down. The glorious supply depot is not there. Oh, this is another way to assault the person's base, by the way, and that is the 15-minute planetary fortress rush.
Oh, here come the Widow
take
Mines!
all of your mines and run them straight over the supply depot that wasn't put up. Oh, MarTi. Oh, this is gonna hurt. All 3 of those Marines died. Notice nothing, none of the, nothing else died. The MarTi's like, oh, okay, you got this one. There's nothing I can do. So.
And GG is called.
GG is called.
Absolutely silly.